Good, beautiful now. Good, beautiful now. Good, beautiful now. In this live stream, we're going to chat together about power, how to unlock it, how is it connected to our freedom. Came to a power room in my house, the healing room, the healing power. And I wanted to reflect with you a little bit on how to find your next level of freedom, which is connected to your next level of power. And it's Katerina. My work in the world is all about empowerment, taking people to their next level of power, next level of freedom, next level of joy, next level of impact. And, when I reflect back, what really supported me to go from a young girl who did not know her power. Hi, everyone. So when I reflect back on my life, and I think what helped me to go from a young girl who did not know her power. Hi, Rebecca, beloved. We'll talk about power and freedom on this live stream. And I did not start off as a woman who lives in her power. I actually started off as a child who did not feel seen or understood by the parents, and a little people pleaser who always was rescuing others around her, including her family, right? So the first chapter of my life was all about living without power and seeking to receive power from others, whether it's seeking man that I dated who seemed more powerful, that I was attracted to that, whether it's business relationships, whether it's, there's so many ways we can give away our power. And then there comes a chapter where you become so tired of that kind of disempowered story, you begin to rebel against your own conditioning. And the rebel is actually an archetype, right? So you go from a person who lives without power, right? You go into a rebellion stage where you say, enough, I get to do something different and I got to turn around my life, right? So my rebel archetype woke up and I began to discover and unlock my power, right? And what it looked like, I became fiercely independent. It was a chapter of my life where I just dove into my own psyche and was willing to look at every limiting story, every limiting blueprint, because I wanted to be free. The desire for freedom was so strong that I was willing to dive into the depths of my psyche, into the depths of my conditioning, to find all these belief systems that I took from my parents, from my environment, that was standing in the way from me creating a life that was filled with freedom and was filled with power, right? So I became a sort of an Amazon woman. There was a chapter of Amazon warrior, right? And a warrior archetype awoke in me. And a warrior archetype, is discipline. Warrior archetype is decisiveness. Warrior archetype is readiness for any battle. And the battles that we fight, the battles with our own mind. Oh, by the way, beloveds, on this new, if you're here in live with me, you can send me a star. I have this new feature. You can send me a star if you resonate with the message. And Facebook will boost my content in a way. as a creator on Facebook. But I speak archetypal language, and I speak archetypal maps because what are archetypes? They are large mythic containers of consciousness. They're a blueprint for our human existence, right? So when you go from a nice guy or a nice girl who doesn't have any power, you go into a rebel that says, enough. I want to be free so much. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. That's a rebel archetype. Next one is a warrior. You begin to take on a beautiful process of reconstruction of your reality. You begin to commit to new habits, to new disciplines, right? You begin to pick up invisible sort of truth, and you begin to just slay the thoughts of limitation, thoughts of doubt, thoughts of hesitation, right? That's your inner warrior who is able to do that, right? And a warrior is also, warrior is focused. You know, when I see people struggling with focus and they're just easily distracted, I can see the warrior is not anchored. Hi everyone, welcome. Speaking archetypes here. And if you resonate with this message, you can send me a little star. There's a star option. So on the way to unlocking our power, we're actually unlocking a series of archetypes. And archetypes are these containers of consciousness. They actually exist on archetypal plane. And when we begin to awaken an inner archetype, we begin to awaken a power larger than life. You know, when you see people who seem to be larger than life, whether it's famous pop star or famous speaker, right? Like, let's just say Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins channels multiple archetypes really well, right? He channels the power so much bigger than him because he did the work to regulate his nervous system and to put certain disciplines in his life that his body and his being is able to channel so many archetypes, right? Really, really powerful stuff if you consider, if you think of this. So we named rebel archetype. Next one is a warrior. Warrior is decisive, disciplined, determined, right? Warrior doesn't get knocked down by obstacles. Warrior looks forward to obstacles, knowing it's gonna make him or her a more skillful warrior, right? So then after warrior, we begin to awaken magician, right? A magician archetype, and a magician begins to work with energy. It's not so much as, you know, facing the battle within or without. It's becoming skilled at working with energy, becoming skilled at mastering your energy. That is magician. And then magician also develops mastery of communication, ability to speak, ability to express, ability to communicate, right? That's the power of the magician. And the magician also can pick up any skill required for the purpose of the magician. So that's the next archetype. And after magician, there's many, many other archetypes, but there's key power archetypes. When you begin to connect to them, they begin to open up your hidden potential, your hidden gifts, your hidden wisdom, your hidden mastery. It's a really, really powerful process. If you desire to know how you can unlock a next level of power and freedom in your life, in your business, in your leadership, I am leading a free workshop called Power Archetypes. And you can see the link in this live stream. You can click on the link and sign up. It's free to attend. But you know, when we begin to connect to our true power. And power often is misunderstood. Power is often misunderstood. Power is not a control, right? Power is not ruling over something or somebody. Power is self-mastery. Power is ability to pick up any skill that is required for your soul mission, for your purpose, for your work, and to wield that skill or wield that knowledge or wisdom that you have with integrity. That's power, true power. And power is also neutral, just like money. Money is neutral. It's neutral in its essence. It's what we do with power. It's what we do with money that gives it, we can use it for good or we can use it for not so good, right? So I've always been interested in learning how to activate the fullness of authentic power, the power of the soul. And your soul speaks archetypes, right? So these are some ideas that I wanted to share with you because I want you to know that I started out my journey as a young woman who did not know her power. I gave away my power left and right. And there was a high price for that, you know, there was a high price for it. It was my way of learning. You know, how can you learn what true power is? Well, we humans, we often learn by seeking what power is not, right? We learn through mistakes, we learn through these difficult life experiences that push us to confront what stands in the way. So this is the contemplation that I have, that when you begin to see your life archetypally, you can zoom out to kind of a hawk perspective and you can say, what archetype wants to emerge through me next? And what archetype I am overstaying, right? And in my work with clients, that's what I do. I look at archetypes in their lives, which archetypes are playing out. There was a chapter in my life where an archetype of an addict gripped me for 2 years. And I was battling very strong addiction. And probably like right in the beginning of my spiritual awakening, there was a deep, dark night of the soul. It was an archetype that I was battling. And some of you may know my story, but my father has struggled with addiction all of his life. My father, his battle is with alcohol, and not being able to feel his feeling, not being able to heal his trauma. So it was a very interesting dance that through battling my own addict archetype, I was able to really compassionately understand what my father was going through, you know, because when you go through addiction yourself, you can understand the helplessness that comes with it when you are battling that. And then when you overcome it and you transform it, there's a certain level of fiercelessness that unlocks in you because you know the power of the soul to overcome anything. So each archetype that you choose to activate leads you to your new level of soul power. And that comes with a new level of soul freedom. It's a really powerful process. So if you'd like to dive deeper into this topic, I'm reading a workshop called Power Archetypes to strengthen you and your leadership in 2023. I'm going to give an energetic overview of what 2023 is going to be about according to tarot, according to numerology, according to astrology, because every year we have a particular archetype, right? Every year is guided to a particular archetype. This year was all the archetype of the lovers, which this is the tarot card that is often misunderstood. People often just say, oh, it's lovers, I'm gonna meet my lover, or I'm gonna like manifest a relationship. That's one level of understanding of that tarot card. It's actually a card of duality. It's a card of you developing mastery while living in the reality of duality. And it's all about your inner masculine, inner feminine within, right? Because it's a relationship of your inner masculine and inner feminine within that is reflecting on the outside. So I love Tarot wisdom because it gives us a sense of how to prepare for next year, right? So next year is the year of the Chariot. Ooh, I'm so excited to tell you more. And it's basically a year of level up. 2023 is a year to level up. I mean, every year is to level up, right? But I feel like after what we've been through in the last 3 years, so many of us at a choice point. So many of us are just getting tired of holding ourselves back by believing in old stories. And we're ready to awaken our inner warrior in a whole new way, inner magician in a whole new way, right? And to lead forward, because we know nobody is coming, nobody's gonna open any doors, nobody's gonna save the day. It's we are the hero and the heroine we've been waiting for. And that's why I love archetypes, because you can connect to that fearless soul power within, and you can work with the energies that are at play every year very intentionally and create your life filled with freedom, filled with authentic power, filled with joy, beloveds, right? Again, so many times power is misunderstood. Power is not control, and power is neutral, just like money. It's what you do with it. And whenever we face trials and tests on our path, those are sacred gifts from our soul to prepare us for new levels of power. If we don't know how to wield power with integrity, it will never be given to us, right? From the level of the soul. So often, right before we go to a next level, a test will come to make sure that we are really ready to receive that next level of power. And it could be a challenge or an obstacle or unexpected change on your path. And the way you pass the test, is by maintaining your deep trust in the benevolence of the universe and by becoming incredibly present, not running away from the difficulty, but becoming so present and allowing the test to teach you, allowing the obstacle to teach you, allowing the challenge to open your eyes, to help you see something that you don't see before, right? That's how I work with any challenge, with any storm that comes my way. We can run from storms of life, and if we do that, we will never be free. We'll never be a free soul. But when we learn to welcome the storm, and we learn to welcome and dance in it and find liberation through trust and presence, we become fearless, we become strong, we become liberated human beings. And archetypes can help us in that. Hi everyone, it's so good to be with you. How are you? Yes, so it's a really powerful journey, and archetypal wisdom can help us. So if you see me announcing a workshop that I'm teaching in 10 days, I believe, 9 or 10 days, it's on November 15th at noon Pacific. You can see the link that is connected to this live stream. Just go ahead and sign up. It's free to attend. You're going to learn archetypal knowledge, and it will support you really deeply. And but the main message for me, like I wanted to share with you is, I did not start as a sovereign, powerful woman that I live right now. I started as a young woman who did not know her power and who let herself be abused and taken advantage of and betrayed and all the drama of a human experience, until there was a moment where I said no more, and my warrior took place. And when the warrior begins to take place, you begin to slay some stories, you begin to let go of some heaviness, and you begin to chart a new path. And then after warrior comes the magician, your inner alchemist, and after magician comes your in a wild woman, a wild man. And after that, your king or your queen begins to train you, right? But every archetype, we gotta earn them in a way. And what I mean by earn, we get to learn to anchor them in our body, not just as an intellectual concept, but anchoring them in their body, right? And that will require reconstruction of our life. But the result will be worth it. The result will be so worth it. Power and freedom to create the life that you're inspired by, and archetypal knowledge is here to help.